We're going to talk about the Ozempic crisis, man. Now, Ozempic is a clear example of shortcuts will always come with a price, man. Let's check out what Coach Colton has to say.
You have these people who have lost more than just fat. They've lost their entire physique, their muscle mass, their bone mineral density. All of the weight that they had lost was muscle mass and bone mineral density.
Disclaimer, this video is educational and informative in nature. Do not contact anyone shown in this video. Also, this video is discussing steroids. Do not use steroids. This is entirely for educational and entertainment purposes only.
There is a serious cult forming around a drug that is quite literally destroying people's...
Look, they always have the same type of look. Like they've been sucked out of life. They've got no life, no energy. They always have a similar appearance, man.
Bodies. And no one is really talking about it, and I think it really does need to be talked about. Let me explain here. About 2 years ago, we saw something called Ozempic come to market. Well, it was actually a lot earlier than that, but it became really, really relevant, essentially, basically post-COVID era. And within literally several months, it took the world by storm. Now we have every single celebrity in Hollywood taking a GLP-1 agonist or something like Ozempic, as well as every fitness influencer and their mother, including myself. People are losing weight and numbers are falling off of the scale faster than they've ever done historically before. It's kind of like we've cracked the code to the obesity epidemic that has been plaguing the United States for 20 plus years.
But then what, is it now going to be an anorexic pandemic? You know? And like I said, every shortcut comes with a price, man.
Unfortunately, though, things haven't been cracked so easy because biology does not give free lunch. See, weight isn't the only metric that is important to track while you're losing weight. I know that sounds convoluted, but when you really think about it, you can lose a pound and have that pound be bone mineral density and lean mass and maintain fat mass, and you've effectively lost weight, but you've also gotten fatter. So you can see my point. It's very critical that weight loss is constructive. It is something that there are guidelines to, and a diet is considered, and definitely a lifestyle while you're engaging in something that's relative to weight loss.
And that makes sense about like the bone density and stuff, because, you know, everyone that's been on Ozempic, they always have like the same appearance, like they're almost zombified, and like their cheekbones are very like they're very prominent. It just seems like something's just missing, man.
Nice.
And why am I talking about all this? Well, Ozempic face. And we've brought it up before on this channel, but I think it's really interesting to always talk about and look at individuals who have been affected by the Ozempic face. So basically, plastic surgeons everywhere have been talking about this epidemic of Ozempic face. Basically, people losing weight so radically fast that their facial features change drastically and they lose a lot of facial fullness. And it's definitely one of those things where you can see drastic changes in primary celebrities over the past 2 to 3 years. Jessica Simpson, for example.
Oh man, look at this, bro. You see what I mean when I say about zombies? They look like zombies, man. And like even in the eyes, it's like there's no life.
Pimple has completely changed her face. And one of the big ones where it's like super obvious is Scott Disick. I don't know his fucking... He was on Kardashians and dated one of the girls there or something. I don't really keep up with that shit. But basically, you can see from 2022 to 2024, a span of 2 years, he looks entirely different. His face is completely emaciated and he has sunken in cheeks and almost a hollow face. You can...
And even then, him in 2022, he looks like a normal, healthy guy that eats food and looks after himself, man. Now on the right, he just looks like he's returned from the dead. You know? He looks like he has been returned. He's come straight out of the Walking Dead episodes, man. Speaking about the Walking Dead, you know, that was actually a really good series, but, you know, that's a prime example of knowing when to finish, man. They just dragged it on for eternity. So much so, it got to a point where I'm like, what's even going on here, man? Like, what's actually going on right now?
see his temples, his forehead, you can see his cheekbones, his jawline, but it's not a healthy kind of looking way, you know, like usually those are features you want to see, but it looks like they're almost too far gone. And so the reason that I'm making this video is because of this gal. And I don't want anybody to run over to her profile and say anything, but she had several videos go viral recently, and it's just a brand new, fresh account. But she's been talking a lot about her GLP-1 usage, how she lost a ton of weight, which awesome for her.
Ooh, man. I don't mean to keep pausing it, but obviously, like, you know, when I watch videos with you guys, it's my first time watching it. So, like, when I'm seeing, like, the transitions to the different people, I'm just like, man, that's really bad. And then, like, they do the same thing all the time. They'll go on Ozempic. They'll lose all that weight by essentially cheating. And then they'll then try to, you know, do this coaching program. You know, DM me for one-to-one coaching as though they've not literally just cheated their way to lose weight, man. It's crazy.
Her, but the changes to her face and body seem a little bit too much.
I've been on a GLP-1 since January of 2025, and my goal was to move into maintenance, but my insurance coverage is going to be ending next month, and I don't know what my next steps are going to be. I've heard in maintenance that folks typically spread the dosing out to like 2 weeks apart or so, but with everything kind of going on, not really quite sure what I want to do yet since I won't have the coverage.
In this video, she's talking about she doesn't know what to do because insurance is going to now stop covering her GLP-1 usage because she's lost the weight that she needed to lose and she wants to move to a maintenance dose. The problem is now is that when you buy GLP-1s legitimately on market, it is a drastically high price. And I'm talking multiple thousands of dollars for even sometimes just a month of treatment. And so she's kind of scratching at the bit here, trying to figure out what is she gonna do.
And I'm also considering possibly going on to the compounded version. So if anyone is in maintenance or thinking about it or close to it or on the compounded, I'd love to hear from you.
And so this post blew up because a lot of the comments were talking about how she was disappearing, how her face looked gaunt, and how she was basically going too far with all of this. And this is a common trend that you see with individuals using GLP-1s that don't have any previous history of dieting, don't understand protein intake. And I know that sounds like really basic, but honestly, a lot of people even watching this video probably have never tracked protein, have never tracked a calorie, have never considered how much protein they consume on a day-to-day basis.
Like, what's your thoughts on that though? Like, all day, every day, tracking your calories, your protein. Me personally, I've never done it. I know, you know, what to say. If you really want to, you know, if you really want to achieve your dream body or achieve your goals, you need to be tracking the calories and the protein. But part of me just feels like it becomes very robotic. You know, surely at some point you must know, okay, you know what, maybe if I eat a selected amount of food a day and you eat this selected food each day, you know, you're on track to be where you need to be. I don't really feel like I need to monitor every single thing.
And so when you take something that inhibits your appetite strongly, very strongly, the chances that you're now going to go from a undernourished diet but overfed to a undernourished diet and underfed is really, really high. And when that happens, you are going to metabolize muscle tissue and bone mineral like mad. In fact, your body will preference that tissue as opposed to fat tissue. And so you end up in a situation where you have these people who have lost more than just fat. They've lost their entire physique, their muscle mass, their bone mineral density.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
And then she made this post in a response to the comments that were on that video, basically showing the facial transformation that she has had. She's down 175 pounds. So again, very big kudos to her. That is hard. And that's harder than most bodybuilders going through a bodybuilding prep. It's kind of funny, actually. I think about this a lot. Bodybuilders talk about their preps being so arduous, like the hardest possible things to do in life. When you have someone who's obese trying to lose weight and get down to a healthy body fat percentage, they sometimes have to lose on the order of magnitude of hundreds of pounds to accomplish that. Not 10 to 20, maybe 15 pounds to get shredded for a bodybuilding competition. To lose 100 plus pounds of weight is astronomically harder than losing 10 to 15 pounds.
I am convinced that people do not understand that it takes patience.
But regardless of that, you can see that her face has obviously changed and she's been modified by using these GLP-1 agonists and losing weight drastically fast. So there's something really important to understand here. There was a set of trials done. It was called the Step 1 trial and then the Sustained 8 trial. And these two trials showed something in conjunction that was honestly, it's shocking to me at least, which was that the trials done by New England Journal of Medicine showed that over a span of time where they were testing a non-semaglutide group, just having them control for calories to lose weight, versus a semaglutide group, was that the group, obviously with semaglutide, lost a shit ton more weight. But there was a huge problem. They lost 39 to 40% of their weight in lean mass. Now, what that essentially means is all of the weight that they had lost was nearly half of it was muscle mass and bone mineral density. And this is exactly why you see so many people who don't necessarily have like a nutrition-based background losing their faces, losing their bodies, quite literally, looking emaciated using GLP-1s. So in fact, you're not just losing fat from your face, but you're changing your facial architecture because you are losing those components of your body. And
it's a shame, man, because a lot of people actually look better when they're chubby, you know? So a lot of people actually genuinely look better when they're chubby as opposed to like when they're literally skin and bones. And the same thing applies to like steroids. A lot of people out here, they take steroids to, you know, again, shortcuts. But to what cost? A lot of people now, they've got acne that's beyond control. Like their back is full of acne, their chest is just full of acne. I made a video on that too.
But most of the time, in a lot of individuals who don't have any concern for these things, it is very deleterious. Essentially, you've taken steps to lose weight, but you've also lost muscle mass and bone mineral density, resulting in hormonal environments changing within the body. And that results in just genuinely really a not so ideal result as compared to somebody who would have disciplined, engage in normal nutritional patterns, and healthfully drop weight. And the thing about these like semaglutide studies, trizepatide studies, and many more is that the weight loss happens extremely fast and the quickness matters because that really is what deflates a person. So if you're somebody that's taking Ozempic or a GLP-1 agonist that's very similar, what you have to consider, and it's like critical that you consider this, is rapid weight loss is not the goal. Constructive weight loss is the goal, where you're eating a very nutrient-dense diet with a good amount of protein, somewhere around 1 gram per pound of body weight, plus you're actually working out with weights. I know it sucks. It is what you got to do, but it works and it keeps you from melting away. Generally, my rule of thumb,
literally melting,
for even clients who are doing bodybuilding is you don't want to exceed about 1.5% of your total body weight in weight loss per week. That's a pretty easy number to calculate. If you're 200 pounds, essentially, you shouldn't be losing more than about 3 pounds per week. And if you are, rest assured that some of your muscle and bone mineral density is melting away too. And with that, you lose certain facial features and favorable kind of looks and turn into this ghoulish individual that goes viral on social media.
I was waiting for him to be honest about this, man. Like, just be honest the way they look, bro. They look like zombies. Stop being overly nice and friendly. They look terrible.
And you see this so much now. And it's like everybody and their mother can get a GLP-1. I mean, you just hop online, you go onto any website and you start taking it. And unfortunately, a lot of those individuals just don't have any foundational dietary knowledge. And so they still eat the chips and they still eat the cheesecake and they still eat the bullshit and they just eat less of it. And so now, like I said, they're undernourished and underfed. When before they were already undernourished, but now they're wildly underfed. And that just is a recipe for fucking disease. disaster.
It's a disaster, man. We gotta stop it.
I made this video because a lot of people ask me about this kind of stuff, honestly. They ask me, how do I avoid Ozempic face? How do I lose weight with GLP-1s correctly? Can you do more videos on GLP-1s? And this is kind of the video that I wanted to make. It's not a good look after some time of abusing these things without really understanding your diet and understanding how to eat and all that other good stuff. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider giving me...
Yeah. So this guy, he's like, he specializes in like health and you know, that department. So obviously I'm not really familiar with Ozempic. I just know that it's a big trend now. A lot of people are using Ozempic, and honestly I just hope people stop. Honestly, I hope people start using it. Sometimes being chubby is the way. If what you're going to end up looking like is, you know, a zombie, you know. So people, let me know what you think. Have you tried Ozempic? Would you ever try Ozempic, or are you gonna stay away from Ozempic? That's it for me, people. As usual, if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm out.